You know, one thing that if you knew me in real life, you would probably know is that I am not a person who likes to mess around with, like, any sort of substances whatsoever. And I need to make it abundantly clear, I do not condone the taking or the ingestion of any illicit substances. I feel like it's a really bad thing and will really just mess up your head more than anything. Alright, that being said, this story is not clickbait. Matter of fact, not at all, because I genuinely did have to sneak pills into my place of employment. I know you're thinking, Trilette, that's stupid. Why would you sneak pills into the job that you just got back? And, well, it's a long story, so I figured that we should, you know, start from the beginning and figure out where to go from there, right? But if you are new to the channel, please do make sure to subscribe so I can hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of 2099. It really helped me a lot, but with all of that, let's get into the story. So, this takes place yesterday, actually. I know, it's probably one of the most recent stories I've ever done, because even the seizure story took me, like, at least a day before I sat down and actually wrote it. But no, quite literally, this is probably the most recent story you'll ever hear from me, and it kind of goes as a testament to show just how insane my life is, but I'm getting off topic, right? So, anyways, yesterday, I was making a video at home, playing Minecraft, doing my chillest stuff. I took a shower, I ate, I cleaned up the place. It was a pretty normal day. And I knew that I had somebody who I was going out with the next day. It's a friend of mine, and we're gonna call her Debbie, right? So, Debbie was coming over to my house around 2:30, and I wasn't expecting her to show up earlier than that, so I was kind of just laying in bed, taking a little bit of a nap to rest after 3 days straight of working. And what happened after that is I got, like, a text message from Debbie, and Debbie told me, "I'm here." Keep in mind, it wasn't even, like, 2 o'clock yet, I don't believe. So, she was showing up really early, so I called her, and I'm like, "Hey, give me a second to get dressed. I'll come down the stairs. You'll see me in a minute." And because of that, I had to get up, had to, like, throw my clothes on real quick, had to get a pair of pants, shirt, didn't have time to shower, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. And I ended up going down to her car, and we had a couple things planned for the night. For one, we had a bunch of stuff to figure out with the time that I had taken off work, which is still not processed for some reason. I don't know why it takes people this long to figure out what the heck happened at work, right? We had to look over some paperwork and some bills, and for the most part, that was pretty much all we did there. And, you know, after that, we just chill around, talk for a little bit. We go back down to her car, and then we go over to get dinner. And we got dinner, I believe, at, oh, shoot, bro, what? Where do we eat again? God, my memory is so bad. Okay, I remember it now. We went to eat at a local food restaurant. I'm gonna be honest, the food there was kind of ass. I don't know why I enjoyed ordering it to my place, because let me tell you, I did not enjoy the food that they had whatsoever. Not to mention that I've been, like, spending probably too much money on DoorDash. Don't do what I do, guys, by the way. It's not worth buying stuff from DoorDash. You just waste all your money there. They take everything from you. It's really bad, okay? I'm gonna be honest. But, yeah, we ate at the local food place, and then we go over to drive down to my place of employment. And the way it is, like, my town is laid out, is I've got my apartment, I walk across the street, forward, and then I go to work, which is where I work. You take a left, that's where my doctor's office is going to be. And if you take a right, that's where all the food's going to be. It's one of the very few cases of a town in America that's actually completely walkable, and, you know, I better count my blessings for that, because I don't think I'd be able to afford anything financially if I had a car, right? But so, after we were coming home, we were stopping by my place of employment, which, for those of you who don't know, I do work in customer service at a grocery store. I think I've said that somewhere before. It's not, probably shouldn't actually say the name of it, because, again, you'll see the story and you'll understand why I'm not, like, leaking this address. But, yeah, so we pull up there, and my intent was to just go in and get groceries, because I get a discount there, right? And so, we pull into the parking spot, I'm getting ready to get out, and then Debbie says, "Hey, wait up a minute." I'm like, "What?" And I kid you not, she pulls out an entire Ziploc baggie full of pills. And I'm just looking at her with, like, the most flabbergasted face in existence. And I'm like, "What's this?" And she's like, "It's your pills." Now, keep in mind, guys, I have started a new medication at the moment, right? And that wasn't the issue. The issue is the way that she handled these pills. She quite literally Ziploc bag pills, and the pills inside of the bag were, like, also vacuum sealed, so it was, like, double layered pill protection. And one of the drugs in there was actually a very common street drug that people like to use, not like any of the, like, common, not the super common ones like weed or something like that, but like one of the more common pills that I've heard of when it comes to stuff like that, right? And so I look at her and I say, is a horrible idea. We should not do that. I just got my job back. And Debbie was like, no, it's fine. You can take the pills and, they won't yell at you. And keep in mind, guys, if I saw somebody come into my place of employment with a Ziploc baggie full of what looks like street drugs, I would be very, very, very worried. So I keep telling her that. I'm like saying, dude, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't do this. It's really dumb. We're going to get in trouble. Or I'm going to get in trouble, sorry. And she's like, come on, you scared or something like that? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And eventually, after like a minute of back and forth arguing over this, I finally caved and I decided to take the bag of pills and stuff it into my pocket and walk into the store. Now, keep in mind, guys, never do this, okay? Just never do this, alright? If you have any sort of, like, unmarked substances on you in a Ziploc bag, and you're walking into your place of employment, I'm sorry, don't do that, okay? There's, like, a one-way ticket to getting yourself either arrested or fired, or both. Who knows, honestly? But, I had already made up my mind, and I had made my decision to walk into... I decided to walk into work. And keep in mind, guys, the reason why she gave me these pills is because she wanted me to put pills in a work locker, which, again, is really, really stupid, and I don't know why I agreed to do this, but I genuinely had a baggie of pills in my pocket, right? And I had to walk upstairs to the manager's office to get somebody. Now, considering it was like midday, it was really slow. I mean, it was Friday, it probably wasn't slow. But, like, there was one person that I knew was capable of giving the lockers out to people, and we're going to call her Tracy. Now, I walk into Tracy's office, right? And immediately, I am greeted by, like, 5 people just sitting at the computers, doing some compliance training, and then Tracy herself is in the office giving an interview to somebody, and I didn't know that, so I, like, knocked on her door. I was like, Tracy, hello, and she's like, you're gonna have to give me a second try, lad, and I'm like, oh, how great, because now, where I am in the manager's office, surrounded by, like, 5 different people with a baggie full of pills in my pocket. And I'm gonna be honest, I thought that I was gonna get fired or somebody was gonna catch me, because I started getting real nervous, right? And it probably wasn't apparently visible, but I was very scared that something dumb was gonna happen, and I was just gonna get caught with, like, a bunch of pills on me, and then I'll have to explain that these actually aren't street drugs, they only are packaged and look like street drugs. And, like, by the way, if you don't believe me, I'm putting up a picture of this on the screen right now. This is what the pills look like, alright? You could not tell that from a Xanax, and you know damn well that the people there would have, I don't even know, they would have just done stuff, and it would have been really bad, okay? So, I'm sitting in this office, right, and I'm chatting up with one of the employees. I don't really remember what we talked about, but we had a little bit of conversation, and, like 15 minutes go by, and I am still very, very, very worried, because the interview is still taking forever, and I just don't know what to do. So, instead, I decide that I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom. But before I do, Tracy comes out and she's like, hey, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. This interview's gonna take a while. I'm like, okay, fair, that's up to you. Right? And so I get up to go to the bathroom, and I swear to God, when I stood up, you could hear, like, the pills in my pocket just shaking around against each other. And I quickly darted out of that room, not like darted, I more like fast walked out of the room into the bathroom, because, keep in mind, guys, I was surrounded by like 5 different people at work, and I need a locker to put these pills in, so people don't think I'm carrying drugs around with me, right? But I have to make noise, so I run to the bathroom, and I sit down on the toilet, I lock myself in, like, one of the stalls, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, I really didn't have to go to the bathroom that much. I'm not even sure if I did my business in the bathroom or not. I was just, like, sitting there embarrassed and scared of the fact that I have a bunch of pills on me, because, I don't think it's a very, good idea to bring pills to work, okay? I don't care what they're for, as a matter of fact. You shouldn't be bringing pills to work. That's really silly, actually. So, I sit on the toilet for about, 10 minutes, and eventually, Debbie texts me and asks me if I'm still up there, right? And I say, yeah, they're in an interview right now, it's going to take a little bit, so you can go pick up the groceries, and I will sit in here, and I will cower in fear over the fact that you gave me a baggie of pills to hide from the manager until I can get a locker for it. So, I obviously didn't say that, by the way, but, like, and she's like, okay, I'll see you later. and I'm fine. So now I'm free. I am in the bathroom. I'm just sitting here trying to like cover myself from anybody because I'm still not sure if those people in the room saw me with the pills or not, or at least heard the pills down there. I'm imagining that they just gave me a really weird look as I was like walking out of there before going back to their training, because let's be honest, right, that place does not pay enough for people to genuinely care all that much about what one other person is doing, because it's not their job that's at stake, it's somebody else's job. So yeah, but I sat there for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I go back into the room, and guess what? There's still people there. They're still sitting there. They are still sitting right there, and they looked at me a little funny, so it's like, maybe they heard the pills in my pocket, I don't know, but... So I go there, and I just step back down, and guess what? Tracy is still doing the interview. As a matter of fact, one of the actual main managers, like one of the big managers, because Tracy is like the HR person who actually gives out the lockers, but another one of these guys comes in, and they're just like, hey, Trilad, do you know if Tracy's available? And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, she's been in there for like 30 minutes doing an interview with somebody. I'm gonna be honest, right? When I went there to get interviewed, it took me maybe like 15 minutes max to get through the interview. I really don't understand how interviews are taking upwards of like 45 minutes to get completed. It feels really inefficient, especially when you need people as quickly as possible. But, you know, I guess to each their own. Maybe something magical happened with those pills. I don't know. Maybe they're like giving me like a protective aura to like keep them from looking in my pocket or something and not getting fired. And you know, I sat there for another 15 minutes, and I'm really contemplating at this point, should I just leave? Like, is getting a locker to throw drugs into really the best idea when there's this much risk of me getting, like, I don't know, rode up, or get in trouble, or get, like, I don't know, completely fired and terminated? That would be bad. This YouTube does not make enough, which is actually kind of funny, by the way, because I'm pretty sure, like, I was supposed to be making, like, what is it, 45 bucks off of, yesterday's video when they gave me, like, 20 cents, so that's something funny, right? I love it when YouTube does not pay me for the work that I do. I mean, I'm calling this work. This is literally just me playing TC2 and yapping over the footage of me playing TC2. Let me tell you what, if I could ever make this into a dream job of mine, I'd be really happy, and maybe I could start up in production scales, but again, off topic. Back on topic, right? So, and 15 minutes goes by, I'm getting ready to leave, and then the girl that's being interviewed finally leaves, and then Tracy's like, alright, Charlie, you can come on in. And I'm like, dude, finally. And I really didn't know how I was going to approach the fact that I had pills in my pocket. What I should have done is I should have just asked for a locker, and that's what I did. So I go in there, and I'm like, hey, I need a locker, and I say, you know, no. Well, I didn't say no, I said yes, obviously, and she's like, she follows it up with, so, do you have a locker already? And I'm like, I did, but you know, I walked home one day, and, like, the keys fell out of the pocket, and I had it, like, 3 years ago, so I'm almost certain it's been reclaimed at this point. And then, she decides to ask after this, alright, that makes sense, so what do you need it? And in my head, I'm like, I have two options right now. I could lie to her, which I wouldn't do, by the way, or I could tell her that I've been hiding pills in my pocket the entire time. And guess what I did, guys? I pulled out the little baggie of pills that I had in my pocket, looked her in the eye, and just threw them onto her desk. And she, like, looks at me with just, like, this mortified look. The limit between confusion, fear, and, like, total despair. It was really bad and really funny. I wish I got a picture of Tracy's face because, oh my goodness, that face was priceless. And then I followed up by, so for whatever reason, Debbie, because Tracy knew Debbie told me that I needed to carry this bag of pills around with me the entire day. And by the way, one of these pills are actually just like common street drugs. I'm so serious when I say that. So she's just like looking at me. She looks annoyed now because like Debbie set me up to like hide pills from them the entire time, which I will never get over. That was still like the funniest garbage you've ever seen in your life. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, but then I get the locker. And then I put them in the locker in perfect timing, as I believe Debbie was downstairs waiting for me finally, because she had already finished up everything. So I finally managed to get the locker, and I managed to open up this baggie of pills, because I haven't actually looked up at the pills, and like one of them is like anti-dystonia medication, like bizantropine or something like that, right? I don't have anything to go off of, but I know drugs that like mess with your brain like that are generally sold as street drugs, and keep in mind, these labels were like barely visible. From the picture I showed earlier, I might show it again here, you know, you couldn't tell what was in this pill bottle. It was just, it was ridiculous, right? And so I put the pills in my locker, I snapped a picture because I said, you know, this is going to make a really good story, and went back downstairs. And I met Debbie at the little bistro place down there, and I'm like, what the f are you doing? And she's like, oh, hey, Trilad, how are you doing, man? I'm doing like, and I talked to her, I'm like, okay, never give me a bag of pills again, okay? Never. I do not want to see you hand me another baggie of unmarked substances. And she's like, they were marked. I'm like, you could barely see the labels. I could have gotten in so much trouble for this. And she just laughs, right? And we get on our way, you know. We end up getting our groceries, going checking out. I ended up getting that food, getting the drinks, all that nonsense, and I end up heading to the car. She gives me a ride home. I walk up the stairs, and, you know, I kind of just come home, and I'm like, damn, this is gonna make a really good video, right? And, that is the story of how I, had to hide drugs from my manager for like an hour. It was really stupid, and again, I don't really feel like his stories should be like this, but, you know, I digress, okay? So, you know, hand it to her, have a good day, and then I went upstairs. And that's the end, right? So, there's really only one piece of advice I could give you for this, is that, don't bring baggies full of pills into work, okay? It's a really bad idea, and I got super lucky that Tracy was so chill about this, because if she was not, or if she was one of the meaner managers, I could have gotten, like, suspended, I could have gotten wrote up, I could have been terminated, it could have been really, really bad, and, you know, I'm very lucky that things played out in the way they did, because if they played out any differently, I could have probably would have had a lot of questions to answer at the very least, and that, when I say very least, I mean very least, right? So, you know, don't bring pocket baggies full of drugs into work, and also, don't, if you're staring at your 40 figures, right, if somebody's telling you that you should do something and you know it's a really bad idea, don't do it, okay? That is a one-way ticket to getting in as much trouble as humanly possible, and that would just really just suck if I lost my job because of that. But, yeah, guys, that's about all for today. Join the Discord, link in the description. I know this video is a little bit on the shorter side. I don't really know how to make this story much longer, but it's like, I really enjoyed telling it because it was really funny. But, yeah, guys, that's about all for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Join the Discord, make sure to subscribe, like the video if you really want to, and, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, guys!